So now you're ready to sit your exam. You've done all your learning and your practicing. What happens? Well, you log on to the exam and you'll be presented with something like this. Here, this is a sample assessment material, but please enter your 8-character HTML key code, and you'll be given that by the exam invigilator. When you've done that, you click OK. It will then ask you to put in a PIN number, and then when you've put the PIN number in, it will tell you, should say your name, your first name, and then it'll ask you to confirm if them details are correct. So you need to make sure that it actually says you there. If you're happy with that, you would then click confirm. And now you come to this initial first screen. And this is where the information, and this is the introduction, and you need to read this, and you need to make sure that it says this page requires scrolling. So here we go. I'm going to click that off, and I'm going to scroll down now so I can see there's other information. And you need to make sure you do that with all pages that require scrolling, because there may be some information that for you there. The number of parts, well, it's in 3 parts. Total marks available 54. 1 hour 45 minutes with a 15-minute break, although I've never used a 15-minute break with my students. Please read the task carefully, and then to return to the task, either select the task number on the left-hand side or click the back button. You can use a bilingual dictionary. Here it says the tasks the exam's put into 3 parts. Part 1's got 4 tasks here. So you've got create folders and subfolders, an advertisement, advertising the event, and then searching for information. And here we go, we've got some different marks available for that. Part 2 is an Excel task, send me viewing figures, or you could get a PowerPoint task actually. Part 3, digital knowledge. Down here, we can set our preferences. If we just click the preferences, we can change the background if we want, and we can, so depending on what you want it like, you can change the background to suit you. You can put the contrast down. You can change that, and so you could suit it for you, and that might be helpful for people who find the white background a little bit too difficult on their eyes. So I'm going to go back to the default color scheme, and then when we're happy, we would start the test. And here we are. It says this page requires scrolling. Part 1, number of task 4. So you'd read that, and then you would click on. And what would happen is, once you'd finished a particular question, it would then become green in here. Like this is green, that would become green. And then also part of that would become orange. And what would happen when you'd finished all the section, all this would become orange. You'd see a bar up here which would tell you the percentage of the task that was done. So you've got to make sure that by the end of the exam you've done 100% and that all these are orange. You can flick backwards and forwards between different parts by just clicking on the part number. You see how my cursor's now gone to a finger. I just click that and I've gone to part 2. Or I could go to part 3 or part 4 at the end of the test. And so you can see I can flick backwards and forwards. If I wanted to flag a question, for example, this one, and come back to it later, I would just click flag and it would come up there. And when I click finish, it would ask me, it would tell me that I've probably got a question that was flagged and that I may want to go back to it and have a look before submitting. So that's quite handy, the flag, if you've got a problem there. We've got the introduction there, it takes you back there. I'm unsure of what this one, section review, I don't know what it does. I'm sure it does something. And we've got the finish test there. So hopefully that's all right for you, but just an introduction to the test that you're going to get.